Hi everyone, and I am back with a long overdue craft video. I've been doing my Veda or Vita. I'm not sure if it's Vita or Veda. Is it like vase and vase or tomato? But I always say Veda videos. And so I just thought I'd do a little bit of a craft video today as well. So I have been, for the last little while, just saving this size tin cans. We don't eat a lot of canned food, but sometimes if we're having like a family function and I'm making those quick baked beans, I will get this size of Libby's beans or whatever beans in this tin. So I just thought I'd save them, and I saw the coolest tin can on Pinterest. So I'm going to give it a try. I've never done it before, so we shall see what's going to happen. So the first thing you do is you take some printed paper, kind of in muted tones, kind of like this. Or any of these ones here, if you look. I have been using this pad of paper for just, oh, that's kind of a shadow, for just about every project that I've been doing. And it is a lost and found pad, but these have the right kind of tones. So I cut a piece of the circumference, this is the one I'm using, circumference of this tin can, keeping the ridges free of paper. So you're to apply that with some kind of adhesive or gel medium. I'm just going to use Mod Podge. It doesn't fit completely around because I think these cans are probably maybe 13 or 14 inches around, and this is a 12-inch paper. There's just about an inch, but that's okay because there's going to be layerings of paper. At least in my mind, it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and cover that right now. So I've covered all my tins, and I just want to show you guys what I did. So I covered, first I put Mod Podge on the tin and then on the paper. So you can see the printed paper underneath, and then just some text, newspaper text underneath that. Doesn't matter if it's got bumps, but try to get them out if you can. And then I have a whole bunch of vintage African American folklore postcards that I copied. I don't ever use the original, so I copy them onto a print paper. So I glued that on, and again, it doesn't matter as long as it's on there. So you're kind of collaging. So I did that one. I did this lady picking cotton, and it says howdy do on there, and with the text, these two little cute little kids in cotton, and that. And then this one is a French postcard from Paris. It says Bonne Année, which means Happy New Year, and the paper in the background, and then text. And then this tin here is a round tin, like almost like a cake pan, very old. So I just put that piece of paper there. It has a whole bunch of ridges underneath, which is going to make it even cooler. And 2 points I want to make. A lot of people wonder why African Americans or Canadians or whatever would collect memorabilia of slavery days, or when, you know, way back when. And it's because it is just that, memorabilia, and that is your history. So these are very vintage pictures, and so I want them on my tins. And I'll show you the reason why I'm doing all this. I need to organize this mess right here. I've got a whole bunch, oh, that was my dryer, a whole bunch of lace, flowers, and things. So I'm going to make some top note sort of cards out of cardstock. I don't want to make you guys sick, like these, and cover them in paper, and then hopefully they will fit in here, and I can wrap, you know, lace and twine around them and use these for different laces, just shove them in. So yeah, so now I have to let these dry. So I'm going to do that. I have to go to the doctor, so I'm glad I got all this done before I go, so I can shut everything down and head to the docks, and when I get back I can finish. Hi everyone, well, I'm back from the doctor, so I can go on and carry on with my little tin cans. So this is how it looked when I left a little while ago. So there's my image, and don't worry about tearing the images. It's actually better than having a straight seam. So I've worked on the other three, hence my hands looking like this. So I want to show you what I did. So the first thing you're going to do is take some spray water in a bottle, and you're going to just spritz it randomly all over that tin can. And don't worry about the images. You know, it's funny, even though I know what images are on here, now that I've seen the other ones, I don't think it matters what image is on here because it kind of gets lost in the process. So you notice I dabbed a lot of the moisture off. I did that on purpose so that it's easier. You just take your thumb and you start tearing away some of that paper. So I hope you can see this. The light is so funny in here, but you just start, let me see if I can get it to, there we go. Tearing away and pulling it off. You don't necessarily want it to go right to the tin can, but it's okay if it does. Just so that you don't have a lot of that naked tin can showing. So there. Go all the way around. Now the layers where you've got double layers like image and then printed paper underneath, I found when I was trying to rub that away, the Mod Podge underneath was still a little bit wet. So I just took my embossing gun and dried it and started over again. So you just keep, there's no rhyme nor reason, just kind of rolling off the paper, and particularly here where there's a seam right here. See? I probably should have, I ripped that off, but where it seams, you want to really roll that paper with your, it really rolls neatly with your thumb. Be careful on the inside of your tin here in case there's any raw edges. You don't want to cut your hand on them, but just keep going all around until you get that done on your tin, until you're happy with how much distressing. You can do as much or as little as you want to. So I turned the light away a bit because it is so bright. I mean, it's great, but you can't, if you can't get the image on the camera, then it's not so great. So can you see all those torn bits and pieces? And even down here, it's all kind of ripped up and getting all wrecked. That's what we're trying to do. Just roll. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of like popping those plastic packaging dots. It's kind of therapeutic, and if it starts to get dry, like right here I've got a seam, I don't want that there, so if it gets a little dry, I'll spritz it again with water, take my rag, just dab it a bit, and taking the rag just speeds up the process of waiting for it to get to where it's just kind of damp there, and then you just roll and roll those paper bits off, and then you've gotten rid of that such a marked seam. It's not there anymore, you see? So that's pretty good. Might do a little bit over here and just rub it right across there. There we go. And it just kind of rolls up, and you want to leave, if you can see the white section of paper here, there's our printed paper, and there's the white, so that's actually one of the layers of the printed paper. So we don't want to clean all of that off. So there, got that done. Next thing you're going to do is take any kind of your distressing inks, alcohol inks, distress stains, distress ink pads. I'm using Distress Stain. I'm using Vintage Photo. And I'm also using Wild Honey. And for alcohol ink, I am using, this one has no name because it's gotten stained, but I think it might be walnut. This one is butterscotch, and this other one is ginger. Okay, and you can keep your water handy. And also, I've got alcohol in a spray bottle, which is perfect. And then also some white acrylic paint, some water in a brush. So first thing you're going to do is go ahead and just start taking, like I'm going to take this Vintage Photo and just sort of smoosh it all over, random. No particular specific place you need to put it. Just I try to get most of the areas that are kind of white smooshed in. If you want to protect the face, then don't put too much Distress inks covering it up, because obviously, yeah, that wouldn't be cool. And I'm noticing I want the rim around my tin to be more. So I'm just going to tear that just a bit up there. There we go. I'm just tearing around the neck of the tin can a little bit up there, because I put the paper up just a little bit too high for me, for my liking. So you just keep going, and then after I put the distress stains on, I spritzed it with water, because you know the properties of distress stain, and then just kind of work it around a little bit with your hands. That's where your hands get all gross and grungy, but that's okay. Just don't rub too hard, because we've already peeled a lot of paper off, so we don't want to take off the rest that's already on there. What we're trying to get rid of is all of the new looking parts of our can. We don't want any new paper. So that's what you're ended up with so far. So you can see the spots where you could add more colors. So I'm going to take the wild honey and just fill it in. Whoops. Fill it in down in here. A little bit over there. Just anywhere that you didn't put the other one. I mean, I swear a 3-year-old could do this. There's no wrong way to do it. You're probably thinking, is she out of her mind, this woman? What is she doing? But trust me, it looks really, really cool. So there, I've got that, and I'm going to spritz it with some water again. This time I'll take my cloth and kind of go around it. Just kind of rub it all in together. There we go. Then, the next thing you're going to do, and then this again is your choosing, take whatever alcohol ink you want. I'm going to use this one, the one I don't know the name to, because there's hardly any in it, so I might as well finish it off on this project. And right around the rim of my tin can right there, I am going to just run this alcohol. Can you see it? Run it all along the rim of the tin can, like so. All the way around. Then I'm going to take, I don't have my applicator, I'm just going to use a sponge because my hands are already so dirty. And take this spray, alcohol, spray it right on that little felt. And just kind of go along, rubbing it into the tin, into the creases. Put some more onto your applicator. And of course you can use the fixative that comes with, that you have with most alcohol inks, but I don't use alcohol inks enough to have all the doodaddy stuff. So you're trying to create that rusted look of a tin can that's been sitting outside in the garbage forever. So funny, Richard came home and he came down. He always says, "What are you building?" So I said, "Oh, I'm just doing some new storage for my lace and ribbons and stuff." And he goes, "Well, where'd you get those old tin cans from?" I said, "They're not old." He said, "Well, I could have saved you a lot of step and gone to the dump and picked you up some tin cans." I'm like, "But it wouldn't have been as much fun, nor as healthy, I don't think." So yeah, I thought that was fun. He kind of thought it was weird that I would be trying to make a can old when I could just go get them out of the garbage. So can you see how this is starting to look? Like it's very, very old. Our image is still on there, but it's really looking like we've had this tin can for a bazillion years. See that? So I'm going to give it a quick dry with my embossing gun. So this is all dry. So the next step that we're going to do is we're just going to take some acrylic paint. I've just got craft paper down on my desk, a la Christy Tomlinson, and I'm just squirting some paint right on top of that craft paper. I love how she does that. Just love it. So what I'm going to do is dip my brush in water, and I'm sorry you can't see it that well, but it's because my laptop is up high and I don't want to put it down in this mess for obvious reasons. So it's really runny and watery, so it's just like a whitewash. So we're just going to go all around this tin, trying to keep this part, the rim, not too covered in paint, because I don't want to lose our rusted, you know what I mean, our rusted edge there. So I just keep making, it's really more water than paint, I think. So just go around. You get the dirtiest hands, I am telling you. And if you want the image to kind of still be a bit visible, just keep diluting it with more water than paint. So I can still see my little image, and if I want to, I can just pat it. So, see? My still little boo-boo is still there, that little baby. And you just keep going around like that. And then once you're done, you just dry this off again with your embossing gun. See? That looks like that. So here are my 4 tin cans. They've got a coat of Mod Podge on them, so you can't, you know, it's got that milky look to them, but look up close how cool they turned out. They really do look like tin cans that were picked up from the dump. And this one, they're all different. This one here, they're just so neat. So when the Mod Podge dries, of course, it'll be a little bit clearer. Not that it matters. And there's my little baby with his little bum crying. And yeah, so that's how they look. So this is how I'm going to end part 1. How to take a perfectly new tin and make it look like it's really old and rusty. And then when they dry, I will come back with part 2 with showing you how to embellish them.